Okay, so now this video is going to be about Candace Owens and how I feel about her being a Republican. So, the first thing is she is not a good representation of Republicans, Democrats, or other American political parties. Candace Owens is not a representation of African Americans. I'm looking over here at this paper because I wrote it down. As an African American Republican at the moment, I find it harmful for her to be associated with Republicans, with the Republican Party. I find it to be a disturbance and disruption to the reputation of Donald Trump and other American parties. Candace Owens' comments about victimized and unarmed African Americans has been below average and unsatisfactory. How can Caucasian Americans feel any more confident in their protection witnessing this as a citizen? She implies that having prophetic vision, however, is following particular American sources. She is stating the obvious and has to do so that she feels that she has the upper hand. That is before other sources reveal the exact same information on certain topics. If one actually has time to think of the possible scams and scandals outside of their everyday work life, family life, and pandemics, they too will develop the critical thinking skills required to observe and analyze the possibilities of political schemes or fraudulence. I believe my opinion is that Candace Owens has been sent by a particular group whom I believe are some members currently in the Democratic Party to invade the Republicans as a spy and a actor. So basically, she's really a part of this Democratic group. I would say probably that involves Kamala and Omar and probably a couple of other people that I'm not too familiar with. And their strategy is basically to spread out. So you have Kamala right there in the Democratic with the Democratic Party, and now Candace has shifted to the Republican Party, but she is not a true Republican person. I don't actually. I think they really, in their heart, are a whole nother party that doesn't even exist. But that's just my opinion. But I think that people need to be really careful and really observant about these particular type of people who are sent to disrupt America. I'm not trying to start anything. I'm really just giving my opinion and believing that I'm a person that wants to just protect America because every day I like wake up sometimes with anxiety and stress about what's going on and I really don't even want to speak on it. It's just like it's in my heart and it's in my mind and it won't leave me alone. It's really quite annoying. I feel like obligated to speak about it. And a lot of this goes back to that nightmare that I had about these people from somewhere else. And I just think sometimes I feel like Candace Owens is blackfishing, and I feel like some other political people are blackfishing. I'm not trying to offend them. This, like I said, this is just my opinion. I feel like sometimes they do things and say things that don't seem very American at all, and it kind of creeps me out. Um, I don't know, but I just wanted to give that like brief about how I felt about Candace Owens. Right now, I'm currently a Republican. The way that I pick people is not based on the party. I don't just say, oh, my parents were Democratic, so I'm going to be Democratic. I really try to pick the person based on their characteristics, what I see that's in them, what's positive, if I feel like they're a good person, if they have the same values that I have, if they have mostly the same values that I have. Because, like I said, sometimes this party has something that I like, but this party has most of what I like. Or this party really said something that was completely against what I'm about. So I can't be for that. Like right now, Candace Owens has really ruptured the Republican Party, and I feel like that's what her intent is. Coming out here talking about George Floyd the way that she talked about him, she's really turning black people, I'm going to say African American people, because that's who I can speak for. She's really turning African American people, away from her. Like, I don't want to be associated with her, whether I'm a Republican or a Democrat. I don't want to be associated with her because of some of the things that she has said, especially about African American men. And I feel that if you say that about African American men, that's going to trickle down to Caucasian men and just people in general. So I'm going to keep on trying to make videos about how I feel. Usually I write it down because it's not always coming off the top of my head. And like I said, I talk to myself a lot. I do a lot of self talk. So by the time I've expressed it, which is usually early in the morning, and most people aren't even on YouTube, then in the afternoon, it's like I have to regroup and write it down and go through that whole process. So thank you for listening, and hopefully I'll be back with more.